Hey everyone, Juan here, and today in this video I wanted to cover Google Ads for e-commerce in 2019. Now, a lot of you guys know in my channel I like to personally diversify where I get all my traffic from. So I focus on obviously using Facebook and Instagram as the main driving factors of all my traffic, but I also like to supplement those with Google Ads, YouTube Ads, and email marketing. And I've also started to test with Pinterest ads. I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. But the reason why that is I understand that the e-commerce space is only growing day by day. And so with the growth also comes more competition and higher ad costs. And so what we have found to work best, not only for keeping our ad cost really effective and maximizing how much we're spending on ads and versus the return we're getting, we have found that diversifying where we get our traffic from using different traffic channels, one, it makes it really affordable for us to really scale and grow our business advertising and spending a lot on ads. But two, we actually get better results combining traffic sources. So everybody focuses on Facebook and Instagram, which is great. That's what we were taught, obviously, when we first got started in e-commerce, me and my business partner. But nobody really talks about utilizing Google Ads as like a traffic channel. Like some people do, but nobody talks about how to combine them both and how they work hand in hand. So this specific video is going to be all around Google Ads. So we'll just get right into it because I do have a lot I want to cover. If you guys are brand new to the channel, welcome on over. This channel is based on helping people start and grow their e-commerce business. If you guys are brand new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the family so you can stay up to date with all new e-commerce training and videos. So we'll get right into it. The first thing I wanted to show you guys is just inside of my Google Ads account. So here we are inside of my Google Ads account. You guys can see this is from February 1st up to date, February 1st of 2019 to June 10th of 2019. You can see that right here, which is obviously some of the key numbers, spent around $8,000 and got 775 conversions and a total value of $100,000. So this video we'll be breaking down how I was able to generate $100,000 using Google Ads with only spending $8,000, because in reality those are kind of insane returns, and there's not really many traffic channels that can get you that kind of return. But there's also some cons as well. There's some pros and cons to using Google Ads, so we'll kind of spend some time going over those. So my goal with making this video is to basically give you a condensed training on not on all kinds of Google Ads, but specifically Google Shopping ads, because believe it or not, a lot of that revenue that was generated through Google Ads was a lot through Google Shopping ads. So there's different kinds of Google Ads. You have Google Search ads, Google Display ads, Google Shopping ads, and then also Google owns YouTube, so you can also run YouTube ads from inside of your Google Ads account. But we're not going to talk about those. It would take me a lot longer than just one video to be able to cover all that content. And so what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm actually going to really focus on Google Shopping, since that is going to be, for e-commerce, probably the main kind of advertising campaign that you're going to utilize. So let me just get this set up on my computer. So the first thing I'm going to cover is why Google Ads. So again, one of the main reasons as to why Google Ads is so really effective is because it's really an untapped, I wouldn't say untapped, but I would say it's not as saturated of a traffic channel compared to like Facebook and Instagram ads. As you guys know, a lot of the cost for ads has gone up on Facebook and Instagram. They have gone up on Google, but not as much, because there aren't as many people going over Google Ads and actually utilizing them the right way. Another reason why Google Ads works really well is because typically when you break down the buyer's intent and the buyer's journey, people will see your ad on Facebook and Instagram as they're scrolling, because obviously with Facebook and Instagram ads, you're paying to show up on people's timelines. But typically, some of them will convert right there and then if it's a good time for them and if the offer is right. But sometimes a majority of people, they want to go and do a little bit more digging, get a little bit more information on the product or service. And so what they typically do is they go on Google to do more research on the product. And so if you're not showing up on Google, you're missing out on a ton of traffic, because anybody else that shows up on Google for the same search term, either for a product or service, and they're showing up, they're going to get that traffic that you're basically paying for. Not exactly like 100%, like everybody that searches up a specific product based on your ad is going to always go to other competitors. But if you're not there, typically that's going to happen, and you're going to lose out on basically free traffic. So That's why typically on Google, this is a statistic that comes right from Google. There are 3.5 billion searches per day. And so obviously those aren't all product searches, but in reality, a good portion of that is. So that's obviously huge. When it comes down to it, Amazon and Google pretty much own product search. Whenever anybody thinks about buying a product, the first place they go to, or there's basically only two places they go to. They either check on Amazon or they're checking on Google. And so obviously Amazon is one of the biggest e-commerce companies, and to be able to compete with them, you have to be able to show up, either on Amazon or on Google. And so we focus on, we focus on showing up on both if possible, for some products, or for some not. Like not on Amazon, but still on Google. Always show up on Google regardless. But in this specific training, we'll talk about Google and how it goes. But your goal as a digital marketer is to be wherever your customers are. So if you're showing up on your customers' Facebook timeline and Instagram timeline, well, they're also going to be on Google. So why not show up there as well? Your goal is to really be everywhere your customers are, right? If you can't show up for your customers when they're on Google, then you get them on your email list. Email them, show up on their emails. You want to be able to show up everywhere, right? Because that's really how you achieve the omnipresence, which is required to really get people to trust you and like you, and then end up actually purchasing from you. So some of the basics. So Google Shopping is powered by two platforms, AdWords and Google Merchant Center. Google Merchant Center is where your product feed lives. So we'll get into the details of your feed momentarily, but in a nutshell, it's the details of your products organized in a format Google likes. AdWords is where your actual shopping campaigns live and where you'll set your budgets, manage your bids, gain insights, and make optimizations based on your performance. The easiest way I like to explain Google Shopping and how it works, because when it comes to Google Shopping, it's a little bit different than Facebook. Facebook is a little bit easier because obviously like you have your actual campaign, then you pick your conversions or your objective, and then you basically pick your targeting, which is who you want your ads to show up in front of. With Google, it's a little bit different. The easiest way I can explain Google is that Google Shopping works like a library, where if you go into a library and you need to pick out a book, they're going to send you to the category of, let's say you're looking for the Frankenstein book. They're going to send you to the category of F, because all books that are Frankenstein books that have the title Frankenstein start in that category, product titles with F. And so Google Shopping works in the same way. If you're selling golf clubs, Google wants to make sure that your products are showing up under golf clubs and not Nike running shoes. And so because of that, Google Shopping does require that you set up what's called the Google Shopping feed before you actually get to launch any kind of like Google Shopping ads. But we'll spend some time talking about that. Before you launch any ads, you will need to do a couple things. So the first thing is get conversion tracking set up. There are going to be some things that I'm not going to cover in detail in this video, because there are pretty basic things. Like you can look up how to set up Google or conversion tracking literally in Google, and Google has like a help section that shows you how to set it up. So I want to provide value to you guys by showing you guys an overview of understanding how Google Shopping works, and also like walking you guys through how to set up a campaign and some of the things that go into that. And so I'm not going to spend too much time on like some of these basic level things. But first thing you want to do is set up your conversion tracking. That way you can actually track your conversions. Google has basically a tracking code that it uses. Facebook, for a lot of you guys that advertise on Facebook, Facebook has a Facebook pixel. Well, Google has a specific code you put on your website that tracks conversions. You're going to need to set up a Google Ads account, a Google Merchant Center account. And then what you're going to want to do is, after you set those up, is you're going to want to spend some time making sure that all of your products are optimized with high quality images, descriptions, titles. And what you want to do, if you want to get an idea of what that looks like, is reference current Google Shopping ads. And so I wanted to just pull up and show you guys just a quick example. So if we go into Google right here, I looked up this rose teddy bear, right? And if I go into here, you can see that all these different rose teddy bears, right? They have a really good image. It's not it's not a poor quality image, right? They have titles that are pretty specific: flower teddy bear with free gift box, teddy bear made of roses, love heart rose, limited edition, red white heart, medium size. They're pretty specific, and they all have good descriptions. And so That's typically how how you want your listings to show up. If you have specific products that you're already going to test and you don't know what kind of images to use or what kind of titles to have, you can just search up the name of your product on Google and see like what kind of other, most likely there will already be Google Shopping ads running for the products you guys are planning on testing. But what you can do is basically come in Google and see what kind of other Google Shopping ads are currently being ran, and then get some ideas as far as like what kind of images to use. You always want to have super quality images because those affect how your ads perform. There's core things like images and titles titles, and descriptions really factor in to how your ads perform overall. So you want to make sure you focus on those. But yeah, once you have that done, then what you want to do is you're going to need an app to sync your Google Shopping feed to your Google Merchant Center. The app that I use specifically is this right here. It's called the Google Shopping app. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Basically what it does is it creates, if you don't use an app, it's a little bit harder to upload your feed because you have to do it manually. This app, what it basically does is it takes all of your products, all the images, descriptions, everything you've already worked and set up. It takes that, puts it into a feed, and then submits it to Google. So it actually makes the process of setting up a Google Shopping feed super easy. I recommend you guys use it. It's completely free. Excuse me. Now, once you do that, it typically takes like 2 or 3 days for your shopping feed to get approved. One thing to keep in mind is that if for whatever reason you don't have products that get approved by Google in their Merchant Center, typically I'll show you what that looks like. So once you submit your feed to your Google Merchant Center, it's going to look like this. So you're going to have a Merchant Center. It's going to say active items, expiring items, pending, disapproved. If you have any disapproved products, you're going to want to go in and basically figure out why they're disapproved. The best part about Google Ads is that Google has like the best customer service. So if you don't know why your products got disapproved, you can simply give them a call and they'll let you know what you have to fix in order to get those products approved. But yeah, now let's talk about the first kind of Google Shopping campaign you should launch. One of the things I wanted to say beforehand to give you guys some preface, products that perform really well on Google are products that are already getting a pretty high search volume on Google. And the way you can figure out what kind of search volume the products you're planning on testing are getting is by using Google Trends. So Google Trends is a completely free tool you can use. And basically when you go on Google Trends, you can do it literally anywhere. You can do it from your phone, you can do it from your laptop. When you're checking on Google Trends, what you can actually do is you can spend some time looking through and basically figuring out what products have what kind of search interest or are getting what kind of search volume versus others. Typically for Google Shopping, the way that it works is you're really paying for when people click on your ads. You're not paying to show up in someone's like timeline. Obviously with Google there's no timeline, and so because of that, really Google Ads work really well for products that are already getting a lot of search volume. So that's just something I wanted to throw in there. But the first Google Shopping campaign you should launch is a test bucket Google Shopping campaign, and the reason why that is because essentially you want to test out all the products that you have to offer and see which ones you can actually get results with, which ones you can generate sales with. Realistically, based on my experience, what I've seen is that the products you will get that end up performing well on Google are, again, those products that do have that high search volume. And typically what you're looking for on Google Trends, it's like more toward like an upward trend. If you're looking for like a product that has a upward trend that's consistent and there's getting a lot of search interest. So if you've never used Google Trends, it's pretty simple to use. It's not, again, that difficult. So I'd recommend you just look it up and you can see whether a product is on an incline or if it's on a downward trend. Ideally, products that are on a downward trend, they typically haven't performed as good for me, but that's just going off of my experience. So after you sync all of your products and make sure they are approved by Google, that's the first thing you want to do. Any products that are not approved will not show up in Google Shopping. So that's why you want to make sure that when you're inside of your Google Merchant Center, you are checking to make sure you know what products are approved and which ones aren't, because any products that are not approved will not show up when you're running your Google Shopping ads. So then what you want to do is you want to create a test bucket campaign, and I'm going to give you guys a quick walkthrough really fast on how to do that. One of the things you want to keep in mind is that any new products you add into your store that get approved by Google will automatically start running in this campaign. So just a quick walkthrough on how to do this. We'll go inside of right here. This is a test Google Ads account. To set up a campaign, it's actually pretty simple. So we're going to hit new campaign. We're going to go after sales because that's what we want. Google gives you a couple different campaign objectives, but for Google Shopping, obviously we want to generate sales. So we're going to go with sales. Then we're going to click on shopping. There's also different kinds of campaign types. You have search, display, video, smart campaign, discovery. But right now we're going to do shopping. So we're just going to pick this standard. You want to do standard because we're going after standard campaign. Smart shopping, it's a different kind of campaign. It's basically where Google does all of the work for you. But I've tested that as well. It's a little bit harder to scale because Google doesn't only focus that campaign on specifically shopping ads. It focuses on display and other kinds of ads as well. So for now, we're going to do standard. For this campaign name, we're going to name this I'm just going to name this actually standard shopping test bucket, right? Because this is going to be all products. For bidding, Google works on a bidding network or a bidding auction, and the way that it works is you bid on, getting clicks. Again, with Facebook, you pay to show up on somebody's timeline. On Google, you only pay when somebody actually clicks on your ad. And so realistically, initially, you probably won't really know how much to pay for a click. And so typically what we like to do is we like to start off with maximize click initially for our campaign for the first like 2 or 3 days. And then once we start getting some clicks and we start seeing what the average cost per click is, we then transition and switch this over to manual CPC because then we already know how much we can pay to get these same clicks. And then we switch over to manual CPC. So right now, though, I'm going to start off at maximize clicks. You can also start, if you're only advertising one product, it may be a little bit easier. You can actually calculate what your cost per click should be. But if you have multiple products, you would have to go in and do it for every single individual product. And realistically, we don't really know if every single individual product is even going to convert. So realistically, that's why we start off with maximize clicks, then transition on to manual CPC. So we have maximize clicks here. For budget, realistically, I think a budget of I typically start off at like 150 or higher, but obviously not everybody can start off with the same kind of budget. So anywhere from like $30 to $50. One of the things to keep in mind is if you have a lot of products, you're probably gonna need a much higher of a budget because you're gonna want to allocate enough spend to all those products to see if they actually convert or not. But I would say anywhere from $30 to $50 is okay for a starting budget. One of the things I wanted to keep in mind is that Google is a lot different than Facebook. With Facebook, you're paying to show up on people's timelines, and you're paying regardless if they even click on your ad or not. With Google, you're basically only paying if they click on your ad. So typically, you're not spending as much on a daily basis compared to Facebook and Instagram ads. So for delivery method, we always go accelerated. Basically, there's a breakdown between standard and accelerated right here. You guys can spend some time reading on it. Basically, Google gives you two options. If you give it $50 a day, basically what it does is even if it knows that you can get impressions all day long, or you get a lot of impressions throughout the morning and the nighttime, what it does is it basically, if you do standard, it basically spreads out your budget throughout the entire day. So that it only gives some budget in the morning, and then it saves it, doesn't spend all your money because it knows it's still going to get you some impressions and clicks at night. And so I don't like standard because I don't want to be limited to my budget being spread out throughout the whole day. I like accelerated because Google then what it does is if it knows that I can get clicks and I can show up in front of the right customers in the morning, it's going to basically shove my whole budget towards the morning so I can get me results, and then it's going to let me know if I have to increase my budget to then also show up at night. And I want that because I want to basically show up as much as possible for these products that are converting really well. So that's more my kind of definition of it. You guys can spend some time reading on standard delivery versus accelerated, but basically for Google Shopping, industry-wide, you always want to go accelerated because these ads convert. So that's that. Campaign priority, we're going to go with medium. We typically always go with medium for all campaign priorities. Search network, you want to include search partners. Right here, YouTube Discover, we want to include display network as well. Devices, you can leave that alone. We're going to have to go after the US. We're going to hit save and continue. And then we're going to you have to name your ad group. So this is going to be all products. And we're going to do the product shopping, not the showcase shopping. I haven't tested this too much. This is somewhat new, but we're going to go with the standard shopping. And then you hit save. And voila, it's actually that simple to set up your first Google Shopping campaign. So that's basically how you set it all up. What you want to do is you want to allow your campaigns to run for at least 7 to 14 days with, again, the budget of $30 to $50 a day to really optimize. And the reason why that is because Google works very similar to Facebook, as in, at first, the first couple of days, it's really just optimizing, seeing, which products are doing well, getting in front of the right people, things like that. So you want to give it some time to actually optimize. You can't really judge a campaign from like 2 or 3 days. I would say at least 7 to 14 days is enough time. And again, Google is different than Facebook. You're not gonna be spending exactly $50 every single day because it's based on the clicks. So if you're advertising products that actually barely get any search volume, you're probably not going to spend much of your budget. Now, if you're advertising products that do get a high search volume on Google, and you're getting some clicks, then you probably will start to spend a good portion of your budget. But that's just one thing to keep in mind. Now, once you identify winning products with profitable sales, there's a couple different things you want to do. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to basically figure out, okay, what products are profitable, and which ones have generated me profitable sales. And you can do that by checking inside of your Google Ads account. So once you're inside of your Google Ads account, you're going to have different columns you can look at. You can have impressions, clicks, cost for conversion rate, benchmark CPCs, click share, search impression share. So typically the one you always want to have on your columns is the cost for conversion. So right here, and conversions. So you want to have this one set up. And so once you're looking at your columns, you always want to see, okay, what's my cost for conversions and how many conversions am I getting? You want to go through all of your products. One of the things you want to do is you do want to separate your products by item ID. So you come over here, you separate them by item ID. This allows you to see all of your products individually so that you know exactly like what variants, what products are doing well. And so once you have them set up right here, you look at your columns, and you can see, okay, what products have conversions and how much does it cost me to get a conversion. After the 7 to 14 days, you want to come inside of here and you want to basically see, okay, what products are profitable, right? If you're selling a $20 product and you're getting $5 cost for conversions, well, that would be profitable, right? So that product, what you then want to do is make sure you keep that one in mind, because now what you want to do is you want to create a single product campaign. And so once you go through and your campaign's been running for 7 to 14 days, you start optimizing. And so after you optimize and you find the profitable products, you create single product shopping campaigns. And then what you want to do is you want to allocate a majority of your budget to these campaigns and exclude the products from the test bucket campaign. And then what you want to do from there is, if the campaign remains profitable and you're still getting those profitable conversions, then you want to start scaling by increasing your budget and including negative keywords to remove your ads from unwanted search terms. Now, I wanted to show you guys really quickly how to actually set up the single product campaign. So it's pretty simple. All you would do is, again, it's pretty straightforward. You go shopping campaigns, then you go to campaigns here. You go to create new campaign, sales, same thing, shopping, same thing. You click on the products, standard shopping. And then what you do here is, let's say we're selling a fishing rod. We'll do standard shopping fishing rod. I'm going to do manual CPC. By now, I'm going to have an idea of like what I can pay per click or what my average cost per click has been. And then this is when you would go with manual CPC. Your budget, then you would start this budget at like $30 a day. And you're going to be allocating, you're basically going to be reducing the budget from your testing bucket campaign and allocating it towards these products that have been profitable because you've already found your winning products. And so you go to accelerated. Now, one of the things you got to do is you got to go in additional settings, locate product filters, not locate products, inventory filter. And then this is when you choose the specific product. So what you have to do here is you have to go inside of your merchant center, choose the item ID, enter it right here. And then this is going to allow you to choose a specific product. So let's say we choose this product. And now you go through same process as the rest. We show up here, save and continue. And then now you would basically select, again, fishing rod. You set your bid. We're going to do $1, let's just say, based on our data. And boom, now you would have a single product. This would be a single product campaign. And so what you want to go ahead and do is make sure that you exclude all these products. So I obviously, even though I chose one product, for some reason it still loaded up all these other products. So all you would do, though, is you find a specific product and then you exclude all the others. To exclude products, you just go here, you hit exclude, and then you basically make sure that you're only choosing that one product. I'm not sure why it still chose multiple products, even though I only chose one, but I probably went too fast on there. Now we're going to turn these off because obviously we don't need these on. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do that. Now, when it comes to basically negative keywords, I would spend some time learning about how those work. It's pretty simple. Basically, you can tell Google what search terms or keywords you don't want to show up for, or you don't want your ads to show up for. So that allows you to basically feel comfortable scaling and increasing your budgets while knowing that you're only showing up for the right kind of search terms. So that's pretty much it for this specific video. I know we covered a lot. I tried to keep it as condensed and short as possible, but there is a lot when it comes to Google. So if you guys got any value from this video, I'd appreciate if you dropped a like. Any questions you guys have about Google Shopping or Google Ads in general, drop them down in the comments below. I'm going to be doing more videos like this. Let me know if you guys like these kind of videos where I'm breaking things down and showing you how to set up the campaigns and going into detail. Besides that, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, join the family, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.